So let's, in a way, Shankar Iyer, look at this, the freebie debate in the context of our poll, because our poll is clearly showing the economy to be top of the mind. When I look at the biggest failures of the NDA government, price rise 33%, unemployment 26%, slowing economic growth 10%. When we ask state of the economy in 6 months, will it improve or will it get worse? 31% are now saying it will improve, but 34% are saying it will get worse. So at a time when clearly the economy is top of the mind, along comes this freebie debate ahead of an election season, November, December, Himachal and Gujarat. How do you see it playing out? The politics on one side and the economic concerns that are there on the other.
Well, to start with, let me say that no political party is innocent of the freebie culture. Every political party has announced free power across states. If state electricity boards are suffering from losses and every 5 and 7 years you have to bail them out, then every party is guilty of it. Having said that, look at the history of freebies. The midday meal scheme which Raj mentioned was 1982. By 2000 it was national program. NT Ramarao's 2 rupees rice and Akali Dal's 2 rupees atta is now the National Food Security Act. Maharashtra's employment guarantee scheme of Sangli in 1967 and 1970, which was brought in for drought relief, is Narega. Amma's free medicine scheme is the Jan Aushadhi thing. Odisha's and Telangana's Kisan Relief Program is a national relief program. So when we articulate what is a freebie, we have to be very careful, and which is why there is a need for a consensus. I think that both the Finance Commission and the Election Commission have shied away from defining parameters or guardrails for this. Having said that, let me put it, why is the freebie debate coming up now? Because there is intense pressure at the bottom of the pyramid. If you look at the balance sheets, the sales figures of FMCG companies, you know that people in the rural areas are struggling, so sales are down. And therefore, there will be more pressure for relief. Now, freebies essentially arrive at the intersection of both political and administrative failures. So what do you do when you can't bridge a gap? You build a flyover whenever there is a jam. So every government, every political party will try and address some section of society which is suffering. So you have to look at this with a greater nuance.
No, but the question is, how many flyovers can you build? If it's the odd flyover you're building between two gaps, it's understandable. The problem for you, Sanju Verma, is the government now having to react to Arvind Kejriwal's attacks. He seems to be getting under the skin of some of the BJP leadership. B, politically, even though economically what you're saying is correct, politically this is an Achilles heel for any government to be saying, to be accused of having taken away from the poor to give to the rich.
You know, Rahul, let me be very clear with you. The media never gave Narendra Modi even half a chance despite a thumping victory in 2014, with no offense to any of you. The media has been proven wrong again and again and again, and I'll tell you why. Because 2 plus 2 is not necessarily 4 in politics, And the reasons are simply this. Let me come back to what Arvind Kejriwal said. I'm surprised that, this is a man who's an IIT grad. There is a difference between write-off and waive-off. The government has written off 10 lakh crore worth of loans. The government has not waived off 10 lakh crore worth of loans. Writing off a loan simply is a technical below-the-line adjustment by a bank to clean up its balance sheet without forfeiting the right to recover dues from errant borrowers. Point number 1. And Mr. Kejriwal, if you're watching this, do care to also mention that in the last 7-8 years of the Modi government, 6.4 lakh crore worth of dues owed to banks have been recovered thanks to a very dynamic insolvency and bankruptcy code brought in by the Modi government. And as for Kejriwal, I'm surprised. Somebody who just has Punjab to showcase, 824 schools without principal, 2,32,000 vacancies with respect to teachers, saying I have given 12 lakh jobs and RTI query shows only 440 naukriyan mili hai from 420 Mr. Kejriwal. But you guys can't stop glorifying him. Currently,
Sir, madam, we are not glorifying him.